Hello guys, we are in a point in the league that it is mature enough that temples have a good value. So today we're going to see how to farm Alva in your maps. First I will start saying that this is more like a framework where you can adapt Alva with other strategies. Temple farming in the terms of the speed, it falls in both categories. It can be either in the rush strategies or it can be in a low maps per hour strategies. So have that in mind despite of me showing you a specifically setup that I'm personally doing. Okay, let's start with the temples. The money will come from the temples with Corruption Chamber and the Riani Institute, or even both of them. The only requisite is that they need to be level 3 and connected to the entrance. The important rooms that we are going for are the Corruption Chamber, that ends up being the Locus of Corruption, the Jim Kerr Workshop, that ends up being the Riani Institute, and the Shrine of Empowerment, which ends up being the Temple of Nexus at level 3. The Temple of Nexus is important because it upgrades the tier of nearby rooms. For example, if you have a Catalyst of Corruption, which is the Locus of Corruption but in level 2, and then you have a Temple Nexus next to it, it doesn't matter if it's connected or not, the temple will upgrade the Catalyst of Corruption, turning it into a Locus of Corruption, which is what makes this temple so valuable. Okay, now let's see a quick rundown of how to do Alva. This is a set of rules to optimize Alva and to get the most of it. Rule number 1, always upgrade any room whenever it's possible. The reason is that when a room is at level 3, you won't get it again in future Alvas, meaning that, for example, you have more chance to get an upgrade on the Corruption or the Rainy room if it's present in your current temple. The rule number 2 is to know by heart the level 1 rooms, and this is really important to avoid skipping them by mistake, and they are the Corruption Chamber, the Gemker Workshop, and the Shrine of Empowerment. The third rule is that this is a more arguable rule because it trades off having more chances to get the good temples in favor of doing more maps. The rule says that whenever you get a good room improved or added, skip the next alphas in the same map because you cannot get the same room twice in the same map. Of course, as I said, this will increase the amount of maps because you have to stop doing the alpha there and then you have to do another map to finish your temple. But on the other hand, you will get more good temples because you're increasing the chance of getting the Locus of Corruption level 3 and the Rain Temple. I personally do a mix. I skip doing the Alvas only when it's the last map, which contains the last 4 incursions, because that's where the most of the repetitions happens. Meanwhile, in the first 4 incursions, for example, is when you're actually adding rooms to the non-room that appears initially. So I only skip a map whenever I have a Locus of Corruption, level 1 or 2, when I'm doing the last 4 incursions. And the last rule is to try to connect the whole temple, and after you have done that, you get into the incursion, you slay the architect, and you get out if it's already connected. Okay, for the Altas tree, I will start with the framework that I was talking about earlier, and this is all you need for Alva. Basically, you need the Alva chance to be over 98% to always have Alva and not spend a Scarab there. And then we basically have all of the nodes except the treasure hunt, which doesn't add much value in the Val Oligarchs because you are basically speed running this temple. And then we have, of course, the ones that these are the most important ones, the ones that have extra chance to get more tiers, and this will highly increase our chance of the Locus of Corruption level at level 3 or the Doriani at level 3 once we encounter the base room. From this point, you can add any mechanic that you enjoy. As you can see, we have only 35 points, which is really low point cost. And this is what I'm currently doing. I'm doing with Ritual because I really like this strategy and it's good money with potentially huge jackpots, for example, a Frenzy Ring. And as I said earlier, you can add Alva to the mechanics that you enjoy doing. So here we have all the bare bone for Alva, temples, same thing that I showed before. Have some quant, map effects, the memories. This is important that we're going to see later on. And then all the ritual nodes, as you can see, and the red altars. You can get the blue too, or you can even do the destructive play with Maven. and some map chance because I want to sustain the same map. I'm personally doing it on Canyon. Okay, let's see a showcase now running some of these maps. I will cut it down the parts that doesn't matter, but I will show you how we are going to build this temple, the whole process, and also the setup. I'm using only two Scarabs. This one is the ritual one that allows us to reroll the vendor store 2 times without cost. That's pretty useful for ritual. That's a lot of value for a very cheap Scarab. We're going to see the price now. And then we have this other Scarab for the incursion, which is really good. It will give us randomly good temples as long as we are doing the temples in every map. We're going to see it. So let's also check the price, the current price for these Scarabs. For example, this is 12 chaos, and the other one is, I don't know, 1 chaos. Okay, less than 1 chaos. Oops. Less than 1 chaos, and again, this is like 12 chaos. If you get like in 20, you're going to find that each one is 10 chaos. It's much less. So these are pretty cheap and accessible Scarabs. And I'm using again as I said before, I'm using the Canyon map and I'm using the 8-ball maps. The 8-ball maps, I'm getting them from the memories. Again, I have these two nodes that increase the chance of getting more of finding memories in your maps. And whenever I get a memory, for example, I have now to show this process, I start running them with 3 Scarabs of multitude, 1 Scarab of corruption, and 1 Scarab of escalation. In this way, I run these maps, and then I get a ton of maps that I have to run for this strategy. It is not needed, but I like to have a lot of quantity and pack size so I can clear a lot of mobs and get some extra loot from these strategies. Besides that, the quant in all of that won't impact your temple building or the rituals. Okay, the pack size actually affects ritual, but you won't get better loot because you are having a 8-ball map. You can run this map Scar even, and it would be fine still. But what I'm doing currently is with 8-ball maps in Canyon. Okay, so let's see some of these maps. We are going to run them. I don't put any option, red altar, and we're going to start. Okay, in this case, I already have a temple in the middle. So as you can see, I already have Doriani. So this is already around 120 chaos. And we have the corruption chamber already here. So if in the 4 remaining incursions we get the corruption chamber upgrade, then we can possibly, we have 50% to make it to tier 3. And if I get it before the 4 incursions and it doesn't upgrade to level 3, I will leave the map and do another one trying to fish another Alva on it. Also, the random temple that we get from the Scarab can also give you a random corruption chamber at level 3, so that's a 33% of getting another corruption chamber at level 3, and of course the Doriani too. So let's do this map, and we're going to finish this temple. Okay. So I like to clear the whole map. I know I'm actually rushing. Okay, we actually found the King of the Mist in our rituals. This will be a pretty good money, and it will be a good showcase for this. Okay, we found our first Alva. We're going to check it. For reference, now when you click the Alva, the game will pause. So that's pretty neat that we got a huge quality of life implemented this league. And as you can see, we hit the Hall of Needle. We can upgrade the room or change to another. Since we are following the 4 rules, the rule number 1 says that you always have to upgrade these rooms because none of them are interesting. So we're going to run it. Since I already have the temple connect, I will just leave. You can also clear this mob since we hit the... Okay, we are out. I'm gonna do the ritual. Here's our second Alva. Let's see what she offers. If she has the log of corruption, we have, let's see, kill the bosses. What's double boss? Okay, it's pretty good. If you hit the Temple of Corruption, you can we already made, oh, yeah, Sanctum or Jeweler, which is pretty bad. Remember that we still have the 33% of from the Scarabs to roll the corruption level 3. Okay, we have 2 more chances of getting the locus of corruption. We didn't get it. We still had an empty room, which can be spared in our workshop. Doesn't matter which one we pick. Okay, we're out. And the last one, have to pray to get the corruption, and we didn't get it. We got. Okay, here we have an example where we have the temple nexus, but it's not connected to the corruption chamber, so it won't upgrade. It will upgrade only these 4, which these 3, because if they are near it, it doesn't even need to have it connected. So yeah, here we didn't roll the corruption chamber, so we will pray that the temple that we get from the Scarab at the end, it will have the corruption level 3. If it doesn't matter, we will start over again. It will cash our 100 chaos from the Durrani Institute. So we are out. Now we will get a temple, which we will check if it has the corruption chamber. And it rolled level 2, which is not good. And also it downgraded the gem cutter. So this is actually pretty bad. But as you can see, this is something that it can happen, and a lot of most of your temples will be bad, but some of them will be good and will sell for good money, as I'm going to show you in my results. Now we're going to finish our ritual. I'll show you how I check the store, even though in this case, since the ritual is special, we will be fishing for the Kingdom of the Mist entrances. I'm gonna find the 4th, which is, I didn't check the mercenary. The Raptor, I'm going to sile it. Okay. Now this is a special. I will leave this, but this is a special ritual. We will show you. Have a high chance of showing you an audience with the king, which is the entrance. That's 1.5 divines, and probably more if you sell them in bulk, which you will, because we are going to see now how many are we getting. Okay, this is 2. This is 3. This is 3. This is 4 because this wasn't deferred. And we have another reroll, which we'll try to buy. We can buy 1. And we'll buy this 2 and get this one. Okay. Oh, I didn't see it. Oh, no. I didn't see it. Okay, we should have gotten another one. I got baited because there was no one lined up here. It was this corpse. Oh my god. Okay, it's fine. We do make mistakes, so don't worry about that. And yeah, that's basically the map is complete. We killed most monsters in the map. We did our ritual and we did our Alva. We're getting out, and always when you finish your temple, you have to take out the map from Alva, because otherwise Alva won't spawn. So So yeah, have that in mind. As you can see, I have more of these audiences here, and I can show you an image, but I already sold like 4 or 5 of them from one I got in, before that. I'm stacking all my temples here, and I have from another batch or temples here. These are the let me see. These are the logos of corruption, and these 4 are the Doriani ones, and this is one that have both. And I can show you here some of the stuff that I have from I can get this down from the rituals, which are good bases with a good corruption, and some items like this, for example, you can sell it too. This shouldn't be here. Okay, now we are going to see an example of us starting a new temple, which I'm going to show you now. You can check, for example, that we already have the Shine of Empowerment. This will improve all the next to rooms and is in a very good position. A better position would be in the center because it would affect more rooms, but here is pretty good. In the previous temple we had it up here, which only were affecting 3, but now I have affecting 4 in this corner. So we already don't have any of the good rooms, so we have to start the temple now. We're getting to the next map and we go again. This is the same process. We're going to find the rituals. We have a special ritual. It's not expensive one, but this is the one that shows you the currency. But hey, here we have our first Alva. Okay. And we have the Hall of Metal or the Strongbox, which we don't care. So we're going to top and try to upgrade the room or switch to a new one. This is the only option that we have. And since we're starting the temple, we have to actually try to connect the rooms, okay? So we're going to find where the stone is. Here it is, and we check. By the way, when you press V here, the temple is paused, the timer and the mob, so that's another good feature. And we want to start connecting to the top. Okay, so here we go. You can kill, since these are all rare mobs. We hit the 1/3 for more gold.
Good job, Exile.
The gold is nice, but it's not anything outstanding. You have the second Alva, Sparring Tempest, which we don't care. Okay. Jewelry of Vault, doesn't matter. Okay, so automation and lighting, we don't care. And we want to try to connect. Okay. Now we check the store. Since we have 2 entrances, we have to refer first. We'll keep referring. I didn't check the cards. You should check the cards. Phoenix are pretty bad. Got 0 now. We can get it, so we have to refer. And now, since that if I get another entrance, I won't be able to defer it. I will just get some of this currency. That's basically it. Yeah, that's the whole process that we are actually doing here. This is a pretty bad map. Again, as I said, this is not, we don't have any of the good rooms, so you can't roll anything good there. So yeah, that's the whole process that we are start running these maps one after each other and complete our incursions. In my case, I'm also doing the ritual or whatever mechanic you to add here. As you can see, we are only using 2 of these Scarabs. You can add another mechanic and you have a lot of space and room to do whatever you want. Okay, about the results, I won't be able to get a good approximation of currency per hour since I'm using ritual as my support or as my main currency making strategy here. And ritual has a high variance in terms of currency. You cannot get anything in 10 maps, and then you find a good fracture and you insta get like 5 divines. So I can only show some anecdotal examples. So in this example, I did 24 maps, and most of the money, as you can see, will come from the temples, and in my case from the King of the Mist rituals, and also some random sales from the rituals itself. But what I want to show you with this image is that most of your money will be these juicy temples that can sell pretty easy and they're very valuable, and all the rest of the loot that will be from the mechanic that you're adding in your map. It could be, for example, harvest, and then you will have a lot of money that comes from the juice that you get from the harvest, or it could be, for example, or it could be the syndicate, and you start getting the old flames, the Valier orbs, or the Kakarina entrances. Okay, in conclusion, this strategy is pretty good. The temples are only increasing in price since the longer is the league, and Scarabs are very cheap, so we can run this strategy pretty good. And the maps also are chill. You can run them even as cores, so they are pretty accessible for any kind of build. The faster you are, of course, the better results you will get, and the stronger you are, the easier you are going to clear these maps with the difficulty as you wish. And it's all dynamic since this is a starting framework, which you can adapt all the mechanics that you like, that you have fun doing them. So that's pretty good to enjoy whatever you're doing, aside from having a good returns in currency. And yeah, and that's basically all for farming temples in 3.26. I see you guys in the next one. Bye.